What's up, homies? Welcome to the Axis of Combat podcast. This is the first official episode. You already know who I am, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy Ray. You already know, Boogie Kahuna. Y'all know the rest. Y'all seen the intro video, know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We want to open up this podcast because we made a post recently that had a little bit of some misinformation. Our streaming service, what Apple, had a little bit of a discrepancy, and my brother will definitely lean into that to break it down a little bit more to you guys.
Yeah, so basically we planned, we had a big shebang. We was going to roll out, all at the same time. And unfortunately, we ran into some snags when it came to Apple. But it's okay. Everything worked out. We'll keep you guys updated when the Apple situation is all sorted. But right now, you could definitely see us on YouTube. You can definitely see us on Spotify. Well, not see us. Listen to us on Spotify. You can definitely listen to us
on Google.
On Google at the moment. So
yep. So yeah, that's essentially, we wanted to lay it out for you guys. We apologize because we like to be as accurate and as punctual and as correct as possible when we tell you guys things, and and our accuracy. We really try to build the foundation of this podcast based on accuracy and good information. But we apologize. It was just a couple of hiccups here and there, but we're available everywhere else, and we will be available very soon on Apple.
Yeah, like everybody says, life gives you lemons. You gotta make a little bit of lemonade sometimes.
Yeah, some people don't like lemonade, but
you gotta drink it if you're thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else you got?
Ingest that sugar.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is at the end of the day.
We'll get that sorted out.
Yes, sir.
But now to lead on to some more important news. Well, not even more important news, but news that you guys are actually willing to hear and possibly discuss with us. We had some UFC fights last weekend. The podcast wasn't up and ready at that time, so we didn't give you guys any picks or anything of that nature. But there were some things that we definitely want to cover, with that card. And I'll lead it off with my brother for some of the picks that he made that he regrets, and I'll talk about some that I made. And we'll also talk about some of the things that we called.
Well, okay, I don't want to start on the negative. I want to start on the positive. First fight. This is the Derek Lewis and Spivak card we're talking about. UFC Vegas 68, the one that happened in the middle of the night. Kept everybody on the East Coast up until 3 a.m, which it's probably rough for a lot of people. It wasn't really rough for me because I'm a night owl, so it doesn't really matter. I'm proud of some of the predictions I made, and again, this card I didn't really do too much research on because it was kind of last minute, and we were too worried about just getting everything here together. It was kind of easy. Let's say that. Tatsuo Taira, easy
money.
I felt that inside the distance coming. Listen,
that was the heaviest bet we made.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
That was. They were setting that guy up, and he's a hammer. He's really good.
Yep. And the Jung Young Park, the Iron Turtle, which by the way, sick nickname, but I didn't think he was gonna finish.
Tululuellen.
Who? Yeah. Listen, I don't. His last name is rough, you know what I'm saying? But
all due respect to him.
All due respect. And listen, even this card, I'm gonna do my best to pronounce everybody's name correctly, but give me some leeway. I'm a Puerto Rican that don't speak Spanish, so it's rough out here, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you'll be hearing a lot of this though.
Who? You'll be hearing a whole hell of a lot of that. But listen, we'll try our best. But like I said, Taira, easy bet. Jung Young Park, that was I thought about it for a bit, and again, was able to get some live bet action on that one, but didn't see the finish coming.
No, nobody saw the finish. I'll be honest, most bettors, including us, we thought it would probably go to decision because Jung Young Park has really good chain wrestling, puts it all together really well. He'll snooze you, but he just steamrolled Tululuellen within the first round, and
yeah, it was sick.
It was nasty. Yeah. It cut through him like butter and just subbed him. So
yep.
That was, but we called that We called that pick. That was one of the picks we did make. If we were going to give picks out, that was one of the picks we were going to give you guys.
Yeah. That and the Nakamura fight where he fought Kazama.
Oh,
that Nakamura Kazama fight was that was pretty easy. I bet knockout all the way. I'm pretty sure a lot of people did though, because the Nakamura is like, out of all the Road to UFC that whole series that they did over there overseas, he was probably the
hottest prospect.
Yes,
for sure. Like he has wicked knockout power. He hit that guy in his back foot, took an angle, slipped the right, knocked him out. Flush, that was bad. And the guy had a terrible game plan. He just came running in, walked right into a punch, and that was it. Lights out.
Dude's a wrestler, by the way, but got hands.
Got hands.
Woo, that was sick. Now to look at some of our I wouldn't say some of my missteps. Putting a live bet on Dawu Jung. That was rough. I mean, that guy's a line stepper. The thing is maybe I let a little bit of my personal bias get in, because I don't value Devin Clark like that. Like, I think he's okay. So and I know this is a very Asian heavy card. It was marketed for the Asian demographic, because the whole Road to UFC thing. That's why it started late. That's why the East Coast guys over here suffered a little bit. But yeah, I missed on that one. I'll admit it.
Yeah,
not my best moment, but it's okay. It's
I was heavy against that guy. I was telling you before the fight, I think he's a habitual line stepper.
I should have listened.
Yeah, he just makes bad decisions, and when you go to a draw with Smiling Sam Alvey, I don't know what to tell you. I just think he's super talented, but he just doesn't make good in-fight decisions. And it's hard for me to put money on someone that doesn't make good decisions in his fights.
Yep.
But here's where I will back you up, my brother. You picked the Korean Superboy, and even though he did not win the fight via the decision.
Yep.
He did win the fight. To the point that Dana White actually paid this guy out his win money, because the point deduction that he got was ridiculous. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't fair. I don't know. He did win the fight. It was a little bit of a snoozer. No one really pulled the trigger, but Doo Ho Choi definitely won that fight.
Yeah, was the headbutt intentional? I don't think so. I think it was more of a kind of a motion thing. He was just trying to
establish position.
Yeah, because he was in his guard at the time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, the headbutt, you rarely see referees take points in general. So to see him take a point for a headbutt, that caught me by surprise, to be honest. I thought it was just going to be a warning, if anything, because I didn't think it was intentional.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and you could ask any competitive grappler, like even guys that are training in the gym, sometimes that does happen because they're just trying to really work to get into that position, and they kind of not jerk too forward. It was a little bit of a jerk forward, like that I was like, okay, maybe it might be intentional, but it wasn't egregious enough to get a point deduction.
Yep.
I don't agree with that, but he did. It did happen, but I thought that was a good pick because I think Korean Superboy did win that fight.
Yes.
Great fight.
Yes.
What was the other fight? Go ahead.
Well, the only other fight of significance, I guess, well, at least for me.
Spivak.
The Spivak Lewis fight. And
you called that to a T.
I called it, but because I was tilted. I was tilted because of the Devin Clark fight, and because I knew I shouldn't have bet it. And I bet the wrong way, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather be safe than sorry. I didn't want to lose any more money. So I kind of let it affect me a little bit, but I did pick Spivak to win,
and you did say by submission,
and I did say by sub.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, but I didn't pull the trigger on it, so I'm not gonna claim it.
Yeah, but it was his pick. If he was giving you guys advice, he would have said that.
Yeah,
he would have given.
Anybody would have asked me,
Spivak submission.
Yes, sir.
No question.
Yeah.
So,
but I can tell you. Do you have anything else on the card?
No, I'm good. As I told you, my brother, and I would have told everyone last weekend, I did not put a lot of heavy money on that card. That card was super dangerous. There was too many unknowns. There was too many variables. There were too many factors that I didn't feel comfortable putting down my money, my well-earned money, and I didn't feel comfortable letting you guys know work hard for your money to put down that kind of paper on, guys that are not actually proven. And we have 1 or 2 cases on this card this weekend that we'll get to as well. So,
but I tell you what, we did do right. We could talk a little bit of boxing real quick.
Oh yeah,
ooh-wee.
It was ladies' night this weekend, man.
Oh man,
they Amanda Serrano and Alicia Baumgardner.
Yes.
They cleaned up.
Yes,
we made heavy bets on those people, and they were great. They did their thing.
A little sweatier than I thought, especially for the Baumgardner fight. Yep.
Yeah, Baumgardner dropped that poor girl, and I thought she was gonna send her to the shadow realm.
Oof.
It was close. It was very close. But we both, we parlayed their wins. We parlayed them at both of them for decisions. That we made separate bets, heavy bets on them straight as well as on the via decision, and we hit on all of them. So those were our heaviest bets of the weekend because they were a sure thing. Amanda Serrano holding it down for us Boricuas. She's from Brooklyn, born in Catalina. She came out to that Bad Bunny, the place went bananas, so she went crazy at Pagon, so. And there was no blackout. No one got knocked out, but, except for that girl that fought Baumgardner, man. It was about to be a wrap for her.
Oh, but that girl, what was her name? Cruz, I think it was?
I think it was Garcia.
Garcia?
Oh, it might have been Cruz. I'm not too sure.
I don't know, man. She was a dog, man.
Yeah, she took a beating.
She took a beating.
She was putting on Amanda initially, but because she's awkward, she ducked the head. She moved the head off at angles, but she didn't really have any good setups. And then once Amanda started actually boxing her, she just took complete control of the fight.
Yep,
complete control. So
she was rocking that crimson mask early,
man.
Early.
It was off her headbutt,
yeah.
but it was probably gonna get there just based off the damage too. Amanda hits so hard, man.
I agree.
If you don't know about her, man, you guys are missing out. She's already aging out. I feel she's at the end of her prime, but man, if you didn't watch her box in her prime, she was just stopping girls, man. She hits really hard. She goes really well to the body. She angles out. She angles out very well. She does a lot of good things in the ring that even relative to like the highest of level boxers on the male side that you are familiar with. So
yeah.
So
I am looking forward to the runbacks though. Alicia fighting Michaela Mayer again.
Great fight.
I can't wait for that one. And
Katie Taylor fighting Amanda Serrano.
Oh, yeah.
Great fight.
Serrano, who arguably won the first fight. But
I thought she did.
Yeah.
Because damage has got to mean something. I don't know how damage has to mean something. It just does. And she almost sent Katie to hell like 3 times.
Yeah.
In that fight. In the 5th round, I thought the fight was over. Because Katie was just like hugging out. She looked like Johnny Walker when Johnny Walker got touched by Jamal Hill. Like she got hit by like electricity, like in that 5th round. She was just trying to hold on for her dear life. It looked like Blanca shocked her, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that was it.
Hell of a fight.
It was on some Street Fighter stuff, So it was a great fight.
Dog fight.
Great fight. One of the best. And if you don't know about that one of the best women's fights of all time.
Yes,
by far. It was an MSG and everything.
No cap.
It was a great fight.
No cap.
It was a great fight. But
speaking of dog fights, Super Bowl is coming up soon.
Yeah.
Ooh. Who you got?
I got the Eagles.
Ooh, why?
They just do everything better on both sides of the ball. You know? Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts is slept on. I think this is going to be his coming out party. I don't think Kansas City has the facilities on their side to deal with at least their receivers. I don't know how they're going to deal with the Eagles cornerbacks. I also don't know how the O-line's going to hold up against the D-line of the Eagles. The Eagles pass rush is really good. They're just good. And then they got A.J. Brown. And, Devontae Smith is the most slept-on receiver in football, in my opinion. I feel like people were not giving him his stripes last year because Jalen Hurts was still developing. But if A.J. Brown never got traded to the team and it was just Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts would be getting the ball to Devontae Smith a lot more than he already is. And I think Devontae Smith is a problem. Like, no one's talking about him because A.J. Brown's there. And yes, A.J. Brown is a total monster, but just everything. I think they just have better weapons on both sides of the ball.
I'll tell you what, my initial thoughts were Eagles. I'm still kind of flip-flopping on it. I don't have an official pick yet. Only because I think what this comes down to is the the health for both Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. Because
that's fair.
Because I think they're two good defenses. I think they're two good offenses. I think they're arguably the best two teams in the league.
Arguably.
Mahomes
is it's hard to bet against Mahomes these days.
Yeah.
That's what I will say. Mahomes is just, he's the best player in football. And I think at this point, like, he's kind of shown that he is probably even a level above Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. I really believe that. Like, his ability to control the game, he did it on one leg last week. And, if anyone who's ever played with a high ankle sprain, like, how difficult it is to, like, move around with that thing. Like, your leg doesn't react when you want it to react. It feels heavy. It aches. It hurts when you take certain cuts. And he played through that. And I don't know if he was doing, what they did to get that, fully healthy by that time, if it was even fully healthy. But I don't think it was. And he still was able to beat that Bengals team, and the difference in the play was the quarterback play. Very difficult to pick against Mahomes, but I just think these Eagles are a different thing this year, man. They're just really good.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a very close match. Like I said, I think it comes down to the health of both quarterbacks, and I think it also comes down to realistically who could run the ball better. Right. Because I think Kansas City has the underrated running game with McKinnon and Pacheco, and Jalen Hurts makes he for the Eagles, he makes that team move, man. He makes it move. And I could see them just straight the first drive of the game, just straight running the ball, not throwing once. Not even throwing once, just straight running the ball. Just to, like, not only eat clock, but to let Kansas City know, like, listen, we're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's crazy, too, because, Miles Sanders is having a very slept-on year, too. Yep. Like, he's been a complete monster this year. Then you have Kenneth Gainwell, who he could probably be taking that job at some point in the future, and Boston Scott, who's, like, he's automatic touchdown against the Giants. So whenever he's playing the Giants, the Eagles are playing the Giants, you pick Boston Scott to get a touchdown. He's going to get a touchdown. Yeah. So I think it's like the last 7 games they've had, Boston Scott's gotten the touchdown. So it's crazy, but their run game is legit too. So it's like they're just a way more complete team. And, I just don't see, unless they hurt Jalen Hurts early, but then again too, they almost beat the Cowboys with a backup quarterback and they were able to put up numbers on that defense. I think Gardner Minshew's the backup quarterback for that team, and he almost beat the Cowboys, and he put up almost 50 points against that team.
Yep.
So I think even with Gardner Minshew coming in, they still have a legitimate chance to win. They're just a way more complete team. So, but I'm
looking forward to Sunday. I guess before we get into the main business, the main card. Hey, you want to talk a little bit of the Grammys real quick?
Yeah, the Grammys. I will say, what was your favorite part of it?
My only favorite part is because it's literally because it's the only part I watched. The hip hop, 50th anniversary little mini concert performance that they put on. That was sick.
Yeah, 100.
Sick.
Yeah, it was that one, the Bad Bunny thing, the Bad Bunny performance, the Viola Davis getting the EGOT award, becoming part of the EGOT crew.
Yes.
Dr. Dre getting his stripes right before that hip hop performance too. But yeah, that hip hop performance was amazing, man. They had Funkmaster Flat, what was it? Grandmaster Flash and the
Furious Five.
The Furious Five.
Melly Mel.
Melly Mel on all the steroids.
All the juice.
He looked crazy. And they had Ice-T come out. They had
Run DMC.
Missy Elliott. LL Cool J
doing this thing.
Yeah, they had a lot of good artists. The Locks came out. The Locks never miss a performance these days, especially after that Versus, So
they all up in that joint. They were like, hold on, you need us? We there.
Yeah, they're good. And who else came out that was like, I was like, oh, on Rakim, of course.
Oh, Busta Rhymes, baby.
Oh, and he destroyed, of course, as usual. Busta Rhymes is probably one of the best performers.
Him and I can't even, bro, he was just spitting. A million miles, word salad, boy. I don't know what the hell he was saying.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
I love him. Love Busta.
He's great. I think he's definitely an underappreciated artist, unfortunately. Because some people will look at his album quality and they'll be like, they'll have questions. I have no problem with his album quality. I think his album quality is phenomenal. ELE is one of my favorite albums ever. and he's a gem. He's truly a gem. But that whole performance, it was like a 10 to 15 minute performance, and it was great. I sent some of the links to some of my friends, and they were like, "Who is this guy?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel old." But I'm like, me and my older brother here, we're like hip hop aficionados. We love this. We go deep with this. We have like a deep history with like a lot of the old school rappers, because that's what we were brought up on.
Hip hop raised me, baby.
Yeah, man. And it was nice seeing a lot of those guys on stage, and it was crazy because me and my brother would probably be the only ones to recognize and be able to name half of those people.
Yeah.
And at least in our generation. So that was, it was fire, and by the way, those guys are all before our time.
Yep.
So it's not like, oh, well, we're old dudes, but we're older. We're not old, we're not ancient, but we grew up, that raised us, we got raised on that stuff, so.
Who do you wish was there?
KRS-One.
Easy.
Yeah, no question. And I know he definitely would have pulled up, he probably just had that one weekend. He had like, scheduling conflict, but just so you guys know, this is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That's how young hip hop is. Started over there on Cedric Avenue in the Bronx.
BX, baby, BX.
BX, man. It's beautiful, and it's crazy that it's 50 years old at this point. Get Rich or Die Trying is literally 20 years old.
Woo.
I think as of this week,
That's
50
crazy.
50 Cent signing vinyls, at like $500 a piece and selling them, and people don't understand the price. Why? But it's one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. Arguably the best one. Arguably. So
excellent album.
Great album.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys. Back to business. Let's get on these fights.
Hold on. Wait. Before the fights.
Go ahead.
Just got to remind the people. Please don't forget to follow us on social media. All the social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. For all you visual guys, YouTube is there. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date. And for the audio, Spotify, Google, and I promise Apple very soon. Please
Subscribe.
Don't forget, show the love, man.
Show the love, man.
Show all the love, baby.
Subscribe. Show us some love, but
share it. Tell your mamas, tell your daddies,
tell your mamas,
tell your mamas. Tell your jump offs.
Tell your dogs.
Your side pieces. Your cats. Have them share it with other cats.
Tell your dogs puppies. Tell everybody.
Anything with fingers.
And pause.
Tell them to like, subscribe to everything. The socials, the YouTube, the audio. We got it for you. Just show the love, baby.
And by the way, subscribing doesn't cost you guys anything.
Nope. For free.
FYI, just, in case anyone is not informed or has no idea, subscribing costs you nothing.
Free 99, baby.
Free 99, man. So.
Please comment, the more engagement we get, the more we could, engage back, we want engagement.
Absolutely. We want to put your guys' questions on the podcast too and then answer them. It could be about anything. It doesn't have to be fight related either.
Yeah. Just keep it PG.
Keep it PG, because, we can't, we won't be able to read it word for word, bar for bar, off of the comment section, but we will definitely like engage you guys and, get back to you with some of your questions. So
100%.
But back to business,
Let's get to business.
UFC 284 this weekend.
Oui.
Headlined by Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. Co-headlined by Yair Rodrigues and Josh Emmett. We'll start at the bottom of the card and then we'll work our way up. So from early prelims up to the main card.
Yes, sir.
This is a fun card. It looks like it's in Australia, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Australia.
It's in Australia. It's a pretty good card. There's a lot of fun fights on here. I guess we'll start off with the first one. Zubaira.
Hold on, I got it. Okay, so let's start it off. Let's start it off right. All right. First fight, prelims at 145. That is featherweights. We got. Oof. Okay, Liz, please forgive me. Okay. Zubaira. Tukhugov.
Who?
Tukhugov.
Who?
And he's going against Elvis Brener.
Who?
Yes. I mean, listen, what I got here is the original opponent for Zubaira. Let me get it right. Zubaira. I'm just going to call him by his first name.
Put some respect on his name, sir.
Who? Chill. His original opponent was Joel Alvarez, but, you know, he fell out. Elves is stepping in last minute. What Zubaira is known for, maybe if you guys remember or not, is jumping into the ring and punching Conor McGregor.
And that fight card with Conor and Khabib, where it turned into a riot. He was one of the guys that jumped into the cage and punched Conor in the face.
Yep. Khabib's ride or die. He jumped in there and was like, "Don't mess with my king." I don't know if it was a left hook or a right hook, but he was throwing. He went in there and started throwing.
Yeah. But he took Zubaira. I don't want to keep butchering this guy's name. I'm about to call him Khabib's henchman.
Zubaira. We should say Zubaira. Zubaira, he's been around since 2014. He last fought 2021. He's been this guy, he's
been inactive. You know, he hasn't been too active, and he is a heavy favorite in this fight. I would say rightfully so, considering that Brener's coming in on last minute notice. As well too, something is definitely in the water of Dagestan. A lot of these guys coming out of that country are hammers with the grappling and hammers with the wrestling, but this guy actually is extremely powerful on the feet. I would say that the line is a little wide, but it's justified that he is the favorite.
Agreed.
I would say my bet for this fight is going to be under 2.5. And it's actually at plus money. The fight does not go the distance prop is also at minus 100. I think that's the bet I'm going to put down for the fight.
Yeah, I think Zubaira's, I think he's just better overall. I mean, this guy, Brener, last minute. I mean, even though, like, listen, last minute guys have been doing their thing lately. I just think Zubaira's just a better overall. I haven't seen a jiu-jitsu guy been able to stop a sambo guy yet. I mean, listen, I got bad memory. I got goldfish memory. So
yeah, catch wrestling seems to be becoming the new standard for the base for MMA. A lot of these guys who have a good combat sambo background or a good catch wrestling background, they're able to mitigate really good jiu-jitsu skills with effective wrestling and effective positions. So, you know, I see Tukhugov, I cannot pronounce it.
Just call him Zubaira.
Zubaira, yes. I see Zubaira getting the stoppage under 2.5 rounds, and that's the bet I'm going to be putting. What's the bet you're going to be putting?
I say probably inside the distance.
Yeah. That's probably the safest bet, actually.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll go with that.
That's what I'm leaning.
Fight does not go the distance at minus 100. It's a good bet.
No official bet, but I think that's what I'm leaning. I'm leaning inside the distance. I think Zubaira should get it done. Brener is, jiu-jitsu guy, first and foremost, at 11. I think he's finished 11 of his last 13, all submission.
Yeah.
But this guy, Zubaira's only been subbed once, and that was like back in 2010.
Yeah, when he first started.
Yeah, I think it's Zubaira all the way. That's all really I got for this fight, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Blake Bilder versus Shane Young at 145, the featherweight weight class. What do you got for me?
I don't got too much on this fight either. Blake Bilder, he's undefeated, 7-0, contender series guy. He's he's a dog, he's aggressive. This might be the first. If you're gonna bet one way or another, I think he's a live dog. If I'm being honest, only because his opponent Shane Young, whose first loss in the UFC was to Volk, and now he's training in City Kickboxing. He's okay. He's a calculated striker. I mean, he's smart, but I think if you put the pressure on this guy, I think he folds a little bit. Like he tends to, I don't think I just don't think he deals good with pressure, if I'm being honest. I think Bilder's probably the way to go here if you're gonna make a bet. If I'm gonna make a pick, it's Bilder, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from this fight. This fight is a little bit dangerous because this is too many variables for me here. Like I don't think there's any For me, there's not too many spots where I would take it. Maybe the under, but I'm not confident enough to put my hard-earned money on the under for this fight. So
agreed.
I'm gonna stay away from it. But now let's move on to the next fight: Loma Lookboonmee versus Elise Reed at strawweight, which is 115 pounds. I have Lookboonmee in this fight. I think Lookboonmee is just better everywhere. I think Elise Reed has pretty bad fight IQ, if I'm being honest. She can stuff a takedown, if her life depended on it. And I think she's going to have a lot of trouble with Lookboonmee's attacks because she's really good in the clinch, really good with elbows, really good with the knees. She's also really developed her ground game and her ability to control people on the floor. And her takedowns are actually, they've actually come a long way too. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Lookboonmee, I agree. Lookboonmee, I like her a lot actually. She's only lost to Godinez and
Angela Hill.
Angela Hill, if I recall. Yep. And she's been improving every fight. I think she's. I don't want to talk too much garbage about Elise Reed. I mean, listen, she cannot defend the takedown. She goes down. She does not know how to get up.
Yeah.
But what I can say is Elise Reed, I think she's got better hands. I think she's better for back foot. And she's got very active feet. So if Lookboonmee doesn't take her down, I can see this fight being very close actually. Lookboonmee's got the better kickboxing. She's the better kicker. And I think she's just the better overall striker. But Elise Reed, don't sleep on her too much. Like I said, she can't defend a takedown, but if it stays standing, this can be a sneaky split decision. Right. Because I could see Elise Reed just staying on her wheels, picking her shots. Like I said, she's good off her back foot. She's got the better hands. From a betting perspective, if I had to pick, I'm picking Lookboonmee. If I'm betting on this, I'm gonna bet on Lookboonmee. I think.
I tell you
by
what,
decision probably.
Yeah, I tell you what too. Like this is actually not a bad fight to live bet.
Yes.
And the reason why it's not a bad fight to live bet is because there's a good chance these girls don't stop each other. And if it is as close as it can be with this fight, which I do agree with my brother is a possibility. I do see a scenario where Elise can creep out a decision win, a split decision win. And I also think, these girls don't really finish other girls. They're not, big punchers. I think if Lookboonmee hits you in the head with her shin, of course she'll knock you dead. But
yep.
These girls they're not really finishers. Lookboonmee does most of her work in the clinch with the elbows and the knees. And she's more of a controller on the ground. She could smash Elise on the floor, but possibly not, because even though Lookboonmee is the better grappler in this match, it doesn't mean she's like Khabib either, where she's gonna just put a beating on this girl. But what I will say is my pick is Lookboonmee as well. But definitely not a bad fight to live bet as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this a low-level women's fight, but I would call this a mid-level women's fight. It's mid. It's mid because I do like Lookboonmee. Personally, I do. I think she's getting better. If Elise Reed could defend a takedown, I think she's got all the hands in the world. But, like my brother said, I think it's a good live betting spot. I think if you see Elise Reed get taken down and she does not know how to get up, just send it. Send it on Loma.
Right.
Lookboonmee, please.
Straight up.
Because I think she's winning. Because
the line might spike a little bit, but listen, if sometimes it's just we're trying to teach you guys to make the most effective decisions with your money.
Yeah.
Not, if it's low level, there's gonna be situations where we're gonna say don't bet the fight.
100%.
Like this next fight, for instance, we have Jack Jenkins versus Don Shainis at 145. It's at featherweight. It's a 3-round fight. Jack Jenkins seems to be the hometown guy. He seems to be the guy that they're pumping up. I believe he's coming off the Contender Series, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And they're trying to sculpt him, mold him, give him favorable matchups. Shainis is super undersized for the division. He actually got smashed. He got choked out by Sadiq Youssef in his last fight, but he took that fight on short notice. I will say that these guys are not big finishers. He should win. Jenkins should win this fight, but Jenkins is not proven. He has not proven enough to me for me to put my hard-earned money on him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's coming straight off the Contender Series. I mean, what this feels like to me is it does feel like a little bit of a setup fight because the UFC is high on Jenkins, and I feel like giving him Shainis is, I think, it is a way to get him a win. Shainis coming all the way from Massachusetts all the way to Australia. That's rough, man.
Right.
It's rough.
It's a long ride, man.
Long ride.
Yeah. It's a lot on short notice.
Yep.
He's probably cutting weight on the plane, which is crazy. Like, you know, he's probably just doing the workouts on the plane. It's a mess, you know, especially when you have to go long distance on a short notice fight. So, yeah, I would say Jack Jenkins is the bet, but this is definitely another live bet spot. Like, you know, this fight's a little dangerous to bet on. So I would be betting it live. Depending on the flow of the fight will be how I put my money, if any money at all. Because if the fight is tight and I don't know who's decisively winning, I just won't bet the fight.
Yeah, I think Jenkins is the rightful favorite. I think the line should be a little closer. Like right now, they got him at minus 330. I think that's kind of big for a guy coming off the Contender Series. But I mean, I think that speaks more to like his potential.
Right.
And also, I think, like I said, I think this is just a setup fight. You know,
I agree.
If you're gonna bet it, maybe inside the distance, maybe KO. I don't know because this guy, he's got some subs, he's got some KOs.
Yeah, they're not extravagant finishers though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
they're okay.
I mean, Jenkins got some finishes.
He got some finishes, but it's not like, you know, I don't see. I just don't. This is a live bet fight. It's just too dangerous for. There's too many unknowns from both of these fighters.
Okay.
There's way too many unknowns. You know, so protect your wallet, guys.
I tell you what might not be a live bet fight. The next fight.
Yes.
Next fight is Jamie Mullarkey versus Francisco Prado. This is a 155 lightweight fight.
Go ahead, bro.
This is gonna be a banger, I think. These guys both throw. They both block with their faces. Oh my God. I think Jamie Mullarkey, I'm not, is he the favorite? I'll tell you right now.
He is the favorite.
I don't know. I guess he is the favorite. And I can see why maybe because,
the UFC experience probably.
UFC experience. And, I think he doesn't like to wrestle, but he can wrestle, especially when he's in a little bit of danger.
Right.
But I think Prado is probably the stronger striker here. I think if he connects, I think it's more likely that Prado, you know, sleeps Mullarkey before Mullarkey sleeps Prado. They both can sleep each other. Let's not get it twisted. But
yeah, 100. And I think, to be honest, that's exactly why my bet for this fight, and this is the bet I'm gonna make pre-fight. This is one of the few bets I'm gonna make for this card. That's not going to be a live bet. I know Zubaira is one of my bets for sure. Lookboonmee, I'm going to bet her. And I will say this fight, I'm going to pick this fight for under 2.5 rounds at minus 155. I just think these guys, I think Mullarkey in particular, he just blocks with his face. Like, he has no striking defense. I think he has like a 50-something% striking defense. So he gets hit a ton. He's been in there with some good fighters. He's gotten dropped and gotten back up. But I just don't see this fight going long, whether Prado gets him out of there early and packs him up, or Mullarkey gets him late. I think one of these guys is going to get finished on another 2.5 rounds for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can see why he's the favorite. I mean, he's fought the better competition. And you know, he's got the wrestling in his back pocket just in case like he gets into that kind of like danger. But like Prado's undefeated. I mean, even though Prado hasn't fought like anybody of note, and he comes from like this organization called Samurai Fight House, and they fight in the weirdest venues. Like, you know, I was watching some fights where they have fights like in cages the size of like phone booths. And then they have other fights where they look like they're fighting on a football field. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, these guys can't get it together, bro. But I think Prado's a live dog. Because despite all that, despite his level of competition,
he can crack.
He can crack. He looks legit. Or at least legit enough, you know.
And undefeated. You know, and it may be against a whole bunch of nobodies, but Mike Tyson packed up a lot of guys too that, you know, didn't belong in there with him, but it's just how he packed them up that made him great.
I do think Mullarkey has a chance early.
Yes.
But I think if this fight goes past the middle of the second, I think it's all Prado probably.
You think so? I don't think Prado.
Well, actually, no. Okay,
it's vice versa. You mean?
It's vice versa.
Prado early, and Prado hasn't been, I think, in halfway into a second round before.
I agree.
Which is crazy. I
had it twisted.
It's all good, man. Yeah, he murks dudes, though, man.
Yeah, because Mullarkey's a slow starter, so I think Prado is very live early, and I think he's still live late. But if Mullarkey can get into a rhythm, I think he could present some problems. So I do think he's the rightful favorite. But if I had to make a bet, it'd probably be Prado. If I had to make a pick, wow, this is tough. I don't know. I don't know who I'm picking. Yeah. I know if I had to bet, I'd probably bet Prado, but I don't know. I don't have an official pick.
You bet the under. That's what you bet.
Yes, the under.
You bet the under.
Fight doesn't go. I don't know what the lines are for those at the moment, but if you could get a good number on that, then, you know, go for it.
Under 2.5 rounds right now on DraftKings is minus 155. That's a great line. I'm going to jump all over it. Yeah, I think someone dies in this fight. Respectfully, you know, someone gets sent to hell, you know, so, but, yeah, now moving on. Another live bet fight, in my opinion. We have Kleydson Rodrigues versus Shannon Ross at 125, which is flyweight. Ross doesn't have a lot of durability, considering the wildness he presents. Sometimes he just walks forward. He throws a lot of crazy shots, but he leaves himself open for a lot of damage to be taken back on him. Rodrigues should win this fight, but it's unbettable because his line is juiced. I think he's like at minus 365, and I'm not going to tell my listeners to bet $3.65 to get $1 back.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I think the line should be a little closer, to be honest.
I agree,
but I do think Kleydson is the. I think he's the rightful favorite.
Yeah.
I think he's just got
better weapons.
Yes.
He's just the guy. You know, they're kind of grooming some of these people on this card. It looks like. That's good.
I was gonna say both these guys coming off contender. They're both contender series guys. Shannon Ross. This is his first fight in the UFC after the contender series. This is Kleyson's second fight because he lost to CJ Vergara, which I think he arguably won that fight, if I'm being honest. But
yeah, he did. I thought so too. Yeah, but this fight is another live bet fight. Because Ross can present some problems with the pressure. But I feel like Rodrigues also hasn't proven to me that, you know, he's worth me spending my money on him, you know? I'll be honest, like a lot of these guys in this card, there's a couple of guys in this card, like they haven't earned my trust, you know? So I'm gonna stay away from it and yeah, I don't even think this is a live bet one. I think for me, this is just a complete stay away, to be honest. When you just sit back and maybe just watch it, and I mean, if there's a spot, maybe, then I don't know. But I'm just gonna stay away from this fight. I don't get a good read either way. I think Kleydson should win, but that's my pick. I don't have an official bet on this fight, if I'm being honest. Yeah, no, 100%. That's also a proper move, you know. So I will say that this is a good fight to probably stay away from as well. If you don't want to live bet it, then just don't bet it. Don't bet it at all either, you know? So I'm definitely not mad at that decision either. So I guess like the official, and I'll agree with my brother here, don't bet on this fight. Just pass. There's just too many variables. Kleydson has a lot to prove. And to be honest, he probably should have steamrolled CJ Vergara the way they were pumping him. You know, it was a close fight. I still think he won. He didn't get the decision, but the way they were propping this guy, he should have steamrolled him. You know, and he did not. So
CJ is underrated, though.
He is underrated.
He proves a lot of people wrong.
But the way they were pumping Kleydson, he should have body bagged him, packed him up. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, on to our next fight, guys. We have Joshua Culibao versus Melsik. Go ahead, you try.
What's his last name? I got it. Melsik Baghdasaryan.
Who?
Nah, don't who this guy. This guy's actually all right. I kind of like both these guys, to be honest.
Yeah, for me, this is another live bet fight, and these guys, and the reason being is because both these guys are not, they're not big finishers. Melsik hasn't been too impressive in his showings. Culibao has fought the better competition. He actually fought Jalen Turner. He got stopped in that fight. But, you know, when you fight to that level, you do level up, especially the UFC, when you get match made and, you know, you get paired with someone. Sometimes it can be both ways, right? Like you could get finished quick. You either get subbed or you get knocked out fast, or you catch a hellacious beating that doesn't suit you well. In this case for Josh, it wasn't too bad. I think both these guys are not big finishers. I definitely will keep this as a live bet fight.
Are they not big finishers? I don't know. I think this fight is going to be a low-key banger.
You think so?
I think so. I think this fight is going to be good. I mean, it's a pick'em. They got it as a pick'em here. It's featherweight. The featherweight's like a very tough division in general. But I think this fight's a low-key banger, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think Culibao's definitely fought the better competition. I mean, he went to a draw with Jourdain. He beat Shailan Nurenbeke. His last fight, he beat Sung Woo Choi. He's only lost to Jalen Turner. I mean,
and by the way, that was on his UFC debut.
Yes.
So, you know, Jalen Turner is legit. He's as legit as it gets. You know, so, but the thing is, since he's been in the UFC, outside of that loss for via ground and pound, it's all decisions. And he had a lot of decisions before the UFC too. Like he's not a big finisher. At least not on this level.
Yeah.
Maybe on the lower level, sure, but he's not a big finisher on the UFC level.
And I think Baghdasaryan might be the better striker. Slightly. I don't know. I like I said, I would have to do a little more research into this card. I mean, into this particular fight. I mean, right now I got no pick. And right now I got no bet on this fight. If anything changes, you know, I'll post it on my Twitter. Or we'll post it on our Twitters, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's for this fight and every other fight on this card. If I change my mind, like as of right now, it is what it is. But you know, if I change my mind, or if I see something, you know, later on during the week, you know, I'll put it out there for you guys. You know, so then everybody's up to date. But as of right now, I got no pick on this fight. I don't know I don't know who to pick in this fight.
Yeah,
I don't really got to lean either way.
For me, this is a live bet fight. If you can't find a place to live bet it, you know, don't bet it at all. You know, just to protect your pockets. But don't worry, guys. I know I've mentioned live bet a couple of times, and cautioned you to stay away from some of these fights. I believe we have like maybe one or two more fights like that. We got a lot of good picks for you guys coming up on this card, especially in the main card. But on to our next fight, we have Tyson Pedro versus Modestas Bukauskas.
And this is the main event for the prelim main event.
Yeah, this is a great fight. This is a very fun fight. So let me say that. However, I think it's unbettable. I am going to stay away from this fight, and for a couple of reasons. Tyson Pedro, this is a big step up in competition. His last two fights were against Henry Hunsucker and Ike Villanueva. Oof, my apologies, Villanueva. But those guys are not anywhere on the level of Bukauskas. And before that, Tyson Pedro had a long layoff, and now he's with City Kickboxing, so he's really developed his striking. But Bukauskas is a monster on the feet. He is super dangerous. I would tell you guys to bet the finish in this fight. I would. However, that line is spiked. I think it's like minus 420 or something like that. So there's not real money to be made.
Yeah, I think they expect this fight not to go the distance. And I don't really blame them. I can see why. I mean, Pedro's got he's got one hit quitter potential. And I mean, the only thing that I kind of worry about in this fight is his cardio.
Yes.
Because Bukauskas, how do you say his name?
Bukauskas.
Bukauskas.
Yeah.
Who? Bukauskas, I know he's definitely got the better cardio of the two, and he moves around a lot. So it'd be pretty interesting to see how this fight turns out if it goes past the first round, because I don't think Tyson Pedro's got the best cardio, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you were talking about a guy who got finished by old Shogun Rua. You know what I'm saying? Like, And don't get me wrong, that was a couple of years ago. That was before his layoff, and that was before his last 2 fights where he's looked fantastic.
Yeah, he's gotten better.
He's improved, like no question. But until you show me it, I can't show you the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't Tom Cruise it with you because, you know, you got to be Cuba Gooding Jr. for me to Tom Cruise it with you. And right now, he's just not up to that Cuba Gooding Jr. standard. You know, it's just what it is. I think Tyson, you know, don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. Could he knock him out? 100%. I'm not saying it. The bet is violence in this fight for sure. Someone's gonna get murked. Someone's getting body bagged. Pack them up, send them home. You know, in a casket from Australia. You know, that's just what it is. But I will say, like, this fight is unbettable. Like, the lines are too spiked. There's no space for bets. You know, and I'm not gonna tell you, you know, to spend $4 to make one. I think that's insanity, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I think Pedro's the favorite. I don't think he should be that big of a favorite, but I think he's the rightful favorite because I think this is another fight that the UFC try to set up where he could kind of get another win. You know, it's, again, this is in Australia. It's Pedro's backyard and stuff, and I don't like I said, it's I think it's a good test because if this guy Bukauskas can get him out of the first round, it'd be pretty interesting to see where Tyson Pedro is cardio wise, and if he could what's the right word,
set up his right hand and work behind the jab.
Yeah,
you know, let's keep. That's what he's done his last 2 fights, but that's because he's fought guys that probably don't belong at 205 too. You know, so but he has gotten better. He's gotten really better with setting up his leg kicks. I would like to see him probably go back to that. This is a great fight. Like, this is a great main event prelim fight. Like, no question. So, you know, definitely tune in, watch this. Some fights you just got to enjoy and not worry about spending money. But if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Tyson Pedro. That's a lean, not a bet. I'm not putting any money in this fight, but what I will say is it's just hard for me to commit to him when he hasn't really fought the level of competition that would give me some kind of certainty that he's a quality bet.
Yeah, I think it's a good step in the right direction for Pedro, but I also think it should be a winnable fight for him. Should be, but we'll see. I mean,
we'll see.
No bet, but official pick is Pedro. I'll go Pedro for this fight.
Yep,
I think so. And if I had to pick a method, KO. I think if it goes to decision, I don't think Pedro's winning. If it gets to decision, Pedro's not winning.
He's not winning. But then again, too, like, see, because we haven't really seen any of these guys test his cardio since he's been back, and he does look leaner. There's a lot of things that he looks better at besides his striking, like his cardio. His body looks better. There's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
It's no disrespect to him. I think his upside is crazy.
He's been leveling up.
His ceiling is crazy. He can be world champion or world champion contender, in my opinion, if he can effectively implement like the same game plan he did against Bukauskas as he did in his last 2 fights. But there's a big step up in competition. I'm just gonna stay away from this fight. So, but anyway, on to our next fight. Another fight that's gonna be fun as hell. Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menafield.
Yep, to kick off the main card.
Yes, that is a phenomenal fight. I will say this is another fight you're gonna bet violence. I haven't looked at the odds, but I'm pretty sure the odds are juice for this fight to end. Jimmy Crute does have a submission game. He did submit Paul Craig. But the thing is, he has to get to this fight to the floor, in my opinion, because if he stands up with Alonzo Menafield will knock him into the shadow realm. This is another fight I'm probably going to stay away from because it's practically unbettable. I do not have enough faith in Alonzo Menafield because of his competition. I also, Jimmy Crute hasn't really shown it to me either because he lost to Anthony Smith. I know it was kind of like on the check leg kick and the cranial nerve in his leg went dead.
Yeah, that was a doctor stoppage,
right? That was a doctor stoppage. And then the fight before that, I forgot who he lost to. It was before that or after that. He lost to Jamal Hill, but Jamal Hill's the champion right now.
Yeah.
So I would say in terms of experience, I would say Jimmy Crute he's had the better competition. But Alonzo is a brick house. If you look at this guy, like his muscles got muscles.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a different thing. He's a wall. Like running into him has to feel like a wall, you know, and he is a tank of a man. He's been leveling up too. He hasn't done it against the best competition. He's kind of in the same ballpark as our guy in the last card, Tyson Pedro, but the upside's there if he can put it together. And plus he's not a bad grappler either, so
Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, Menifield. To my knowledge, I don't think he's been submitted. And I mean, he's again, he's a little bit on the older side. He's 35, but like he's been showing an improvement here and there. But this is definitely a solid test for him. He is the dog. He's got tremendous power. I think violence. I think this is a very.
Someone's dying in this fight.
I'd say I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say dying, but
Murked.
I don't think it goes all the way. I don't think this goes to decision. So
either probably Alonzo gasses and Jimmy Crute, like he kind of fights one way. Yeah. Like he goes after it, which this fight is not going to be boring. It's a great fight. But
he might get his chin checked.
Yeah. Once again, in my opinion, just unbettable. Like there's just no place for me to find a comfortable space for me to bet my money.
If you had to make a pick, what do you got? Crute?
You see, I feel better about Pedro versus Bukauskas than this fight. Crute is the better fighter, fought the better brand of competition.
I agree.
I'd probably go Crute. But then again, too, like I think Alonzo is just, God, he's such a house.
I think I want to go Alonzo here.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I think I want to go Alonzo here. I think he gets it. I think his wrestling's a little underrated.
Yes, I agree.
And again, he's never been submitted, but I don't know. Has he even? Let me see. I can check real quick. I don't know if he's fought anybody of. I mean, listen. Both these guys got wins over Paul Craig,
which is crazy. Yeah, Paul Craig, by the way, in the top 10, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
he just got He just got finished by Johnny Walker, but Paul Craig is no joke on the floor. He's legit, and Jimmy Crute submitted that guy. So Paul Craig's guard. Anybody that's jiu-jitsu player that watches that guy, they know how good he is. Especially with it's hard to lock up some of the submissions he's locked up with no gi. And he dislocated the champion's arm. You know what I'm saying? So he's a real problem. Like Paul Craig is a real problem on the floor. He just has no striking. It's virtually non-existent.
See, now that I'm looking, you know what? I'm gonna commit. I'll stay Menifield. I stay Menifield. I think
no bets, by the way, guys. This is just leans.
Yeah, this is just predictions here. We're just predicting who we think is gonna win here. I'm not betting on this fight. I think Menifield could catch him. I think Menifield can catch him. I think he's sneaky. Again, he's never been submitted, and he can chin check homeboy.
You know what? And I'm gonna piggyback off. I'm gonna go Menifield too.
Oh, you switching?
I'm switching.
You're switching.
I'm switching. I'm switching because Jimmy Crute does make some questionable decisions in this fight. And what have I always told you about people who just they habitually line step over that fine line, the fight IQ. I mean, and they just make bad decisions in fights.
IQ is very underrated.
It is.
It's I think people overlook it a lot.
I agree.
People fall in love with the stats or the
power, the aesthetics.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? The physical abilities, and they kind of overlook IQ. IQ is very I guess overlooked.
Right.
And who's Menifield's coach? Is it Saeed Saud?
Yeah, I think so.
In his corner, he's solid.
He's solid coach.
And Menifield's again
he's coachable.
He's coachable.
He's
exactly.
coachable.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Menifield with you. I am.
All right, that's the official pick. Not a bet.
Not a bet, guys.
But a pick.
Yeah, there's no bet here because there's no place to make money safely here.
I agree.
So I'm not making any bets. I'm not gonna make you guys waste your money. My brother's not gonna make you guys waste your money. We don't have time for that. We're gonna now these next 4 fights. Let's get you paid.
Ooh.
Let's get you paid here.
Let's do it.
So the next fight we have at heavyweight, Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter.
The real main event.
Yeah, this fight doesn't even belong on the main card. I don't know how it made the main card. This guy's name is Parker Porter, Peter Porker. If you guys seen the Spider-Verse movie, it's crazy, man. And Justin Tafa, he got finished by Jared Vandera, who that guy has like the ultimate truck driver body,
Listen, Justin Tafa, man, listen, he's lost, like you said, lost to Vandera by decision, lost to Carlos Felipe, decision. Jorgen De Castro, he got knocked out by Jorgen De Castro.
By the way, those first 2 guys he mentioned, not even in the UFC anymore.
Bruh.
And That says a lot. Like this is a low level heavyweight fight, but what I will say is my pick and my bet, I am gonna bet Parker Porter in this fight.
I think this is Tafa's. This might be Tafa's toughest fight.
How crazy is that, dude?
Porter,
and Parker Porter is not like an elite heavyweight.
And he's older. He's 37 years old, but man, Porker. You know, I apologize.
Got him.
I apologize. Parker Porter. Parker Porter. Let me not disrespect the man, all right? Parker Porter, he can wrestle. And he's a good minute winner. I think people are sleeping on him. He's a dog. I think he's a good bet. Straight. I'm looking at the odds right now. They have it at plus 120.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
I take that. And he's a minute winner, man.
He's a minute winner. He has decent grappling. He has pretty good cardio for a guy who's 265 pounds.
Yep.
And Justin Tafa is just not competent with the grappling. He's just not. And
don't let his last fight. Don't let Porker's Porker. Jeez, I keep calling him Porker. I apologize. Don't let Parker Porter's last fight affect. I mean, listen, Jailton Almeida, monster. He's running through all the low-level heavyweights at the moment.
Jailton is a problem.
He's
supposed to be fighting at 205.
Yeah, and
he's smashing heavyweights.
Nobody wants to fight him at 205, so he's like, you know what? I don't need. I'll take the extra couple pounds, and I'll just start beating up on low-level heavyweights.
Smashing dudes. Smashing them, man.
So,
his jiu-jitsu's filthy, but he's not even in the card, so that's another day. But
yeah,
I agree that like who else he lost to? Parker Porter lost to him and
Chris Daukaus.
Yeah, who's a top 10 heavyweight at the moment, but he's moving down to 205 from my understanding. Chris Daukaus is only lost to the elite heavyweights, so I will say, like, I think Parker Porter's the bet in this fight. I'm surprised he's at plus money. I guess they're probably anything can happen. It is a low level heavyweight fight, so Justin Tafa could catch him.
Hey, maybe it's that maybe it's just that Australian money coming in on Tafa. Who knows?
You're not wrong. I just don't think he can deal with the grappling and the pressure of Parker Porter.
I think this is sneaky. I think Porker. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I think Parker Porter wins. I think he does win. I think it probably goes to decision.
Yeah, I'd bet that too.
This is one of those. I mean, listen.
But then again, too, I just pick him straight.
Yeah,
because
just pick him straight.
He's just plus money.
Yeah.
Justin Tafa is just not competent on the floor. He might get smashed, even though I don't think so. So I'm gonna go with my brother here. I think it's via decision. But I think he's at plus money. Just take him at plus money. I'm putting that bet for sure.
Yeah, I like Parker Porter. That's my official bet. That's my official pick.
Yes. And now on to our next fight. We have Randy Rude Boy Brown. Rude Boy.
The Rude Boy.
Versus Jack Della Mandalella.
This is don't disrespect.
Nah, yeah. I'll be real with you guys. I said who because his name is a mouthful. Hey yo.
Hey,
pause. But what I will say is that he is one of the better prospects that's coming off the Contender Series. This guy's boxing is probably top 5 in the UFC. I'm gonna go that far. The way he sets up his top 5.
Okay.
The way he sets up his shots, the way he goes to the body. There's a lot of things this guy does that are great. My bet is him via knockout. I don't know what the line is. I think it's a decent line. I'm gonna take him via knockout.
Well,
Randy is a good fighter. And he's not bad at all. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's very lanky for the weight class, very big. He's gonna keep Jack on the outside. He's gonna do a good job. But in my opinion, if Randy, who historically has not done this, doesn't shoot and get a takedown on this guy, I think he's gonna get lit up. And we have seen Jack stop people to the body. That's how hard this guy hits. That's the precision he hits you with. I think he's gonna get in. He's gonna find Randy's body. Randy has been dropped in fights.
Yes.
His chin is not, if Chaos Williams could catch you, and Chaos Williams doesn't have half the setups that this guy, Mandela, has.
Yep, doesn't have the boxing that he has, doesn't have the footwork that he has.
Yeah, Jack has his power, but with better technique. And,
maybe Chaos is a little strong.
Chaos hits a little, let me reel it back a little bit. Jack hits a little less harder, but his precision, the way his shot selection, the way he picks his shots, the way he controls space. Randy's going to have to kick his legs and try to get a takedown or work behind his kicks. But Randy historically doesn't hit very hard. He couldn't keep Chaos Williams off of him. I don't suspect a guy with the pedigree of Jack, the way he's able to shift in and get to the body, that he's going to be able to keep Jack off of him. I think Jack wins via knockout. And I'm putting money on that as well.
I think this fight is very interesting. At least it's going to be visually interesting because, Randy Brown's a giant compared to Jack. Randy Brown knows how to use his range. Randy Brown...
competent submission game.
Yeah.
Very competent.
Yeah. But I think Jack does have some underrated...
grappling.
Grappling D. I'm saying pause.
Hey, yo.
I think Randy... The problem I see here with Randy, this is where I kind of see the fight going, is that Randy is going to try to play it safe, keep him on the outside. The problem with Randy is that I think his output's just a little bit on the lower end.
Yes.
And Jack, he knows, like I said, he's got a solid boxing pedigree. I think he finds a way to get in there. I think he finds a way to rip him to the body. Rip him to the face. Yeah. I think Randy Brown has got Randy Brown can be hit. I think Randy Brown, his only shot here is maybe just trying to maybe stay close, maybe grapple, push him against the cage.
Beat him up in the clinch.
Because I think he can beat him up in the clinch.
Or take him down and sub him.
With some knees.
But Randy just has not, he just hasn't shown, at least to me, I haven't seen enough of a competency from him to bet on him to get a takedown in this fight.
Yeah, I think his IQ is a little bit on the lower side. I don't think he's a dumb fighter at all, but I feel like he
fights too safe.
Not that he fights too safe. I think he takes a little too long to make the proper adjustments.
Right. That's okay. That's fair. And when I say fight safe, like it goes back to my brother's low volume argument. Yeah. Like he'll wait for the right shots and then make it a very boring fight. Like he tries to fight a lot like Mayweather. The last fight with Chaos, he was shoulder rolling and he still got caught in that fight.
Yeah.
I just think Jack will find him. If Chaos can touch you, like Jack's going to touch you. He's going to touch you back.
Yeah, I think Jack could get it on him eventually. Maybe second round.
Yeah.
KO. I think I could see that.
I could see that too. But yeah, I like Jack via knockout in this fight. What about you?
Yeah, me too. I think that's the official bet and official pick. I mean, Jack, he's the deservingly so. I think he's the
favorite.
He's the favorite. Maybe he should be a little closer. Maybe should put a little more respect on Rude Boy. But he's right now. They got him at minus 300. I think that's that might be appropriate. I'm not too sure.
No, I'm with you. I think it's the Aussie money. I think it's the Aussie money coming in on him. I don't think it should be. He should probably be 2-1, but 3-1 is like.
I think Jack's solid. Yeah. I think Jack by KO. I think that's probably the way to go.
Jack via knockout.
Yeah.
No question.
I like that.
Yeah. I just think Randy, he just hasn't shown it. Like in terms of his durability. His competition, he's fought some good competition, but his durability, I don't know if he can take what Jack's going to give.
And no disrespect to Randy. I think he's a great fighter.
He's a great fighter.
And I think he's been improving every fight as well. But, who knows? And maybe he might show a new wrinkle to his game here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to count him out completely, but
Jack is creeping on special.
It's just his boxing is just
clean, man.
Yeah, it's
clean.
Love watching that guy fight, man.
Yeah, and he's fought his last fight. I think he fought what's this guy's name?
I got you right now.
He fought Danny Roberts.
Yes.
But
pieced him up.
And people will say, oh, well, that was just like a low-level fight. But Danny is a decently competent striker, and he made him look like he didn't belong in there with him. I don't think Randy Brown would be able to do to Danny. Randy Brown would be able to make Danny Roberts look that bad.
I mean, listen,
can't do MMA math, but
Danny Roberts. He's okay. I think he's always had a sus chin.
Yes,
he's always had a sus chin, and like I said, even though Jack made it look easy, I think that was more to do with just Jack's boxing levels.
Jack is creeping on special.
Yeah. I think he's got the potential to be like
special up
there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Jack via knockout's the pick.
Yeah, and the bet.
Yeah,
and the bet. If I had to bet it, I don't know what the line is. Again, like I said, we could look at it later.
I'll find that right now.
I might update it on Twitter. If the line is nice, yeah, that'd probably be about my bet and my pick. And if I had to pick a round, I think Rude Boy. Oof, I think he does. I think he does enough to survive the first round, but I think second round, I think that's where Jack gets him.
Randy has good footwork, so I agree. He has really good footwork, so
yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see it. I could see Randy kind of just staying on the outside, using his range, picking, poking, but not throwing enough to stop Jack from just moving in on him. And I could see Jack winning the first and then just cleaning him out the second.
Right.
He could possibly even put him in danger in the first, and just sweating if you take the round 2 straight. But yeah, second round KO Jack.
Yep.
Della Mandalena. Put respect on that man's name.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we got,
like I said, I like Rude Boy, but
levels.
Yes.
Levels, man. In our next fight, we have some more money for you guys.
Ooh, the co-main, baby.
Yair Rodrigues versus Josh Emmett for the interim 145 championship, since Volkanovski is moving up in the main event to fight Islam Makhachev.
Mm-hmm.
I like Yair Rodrigues a lot in this fight.
Yes.
I do. I think Yair is the much bigger guy. He's the much longer guy. Not knowing I say bigger because Josh Emmett's a tank, but he's the longer guy. He knows how to use his range. His kicks are phenomenal. He's shown to have a competent ground game because he even went down there with T-City, and even though the fight was close, I mean, it was quick, he did throw up an armbar in T-City, if we're being honest. So I do think he's worked a lot on his ground game, especially after taking that beating in the Frankie Edgar fight years back. But I like him. I like Yair in this fight, and the reason being is because I don't trust Josh Emmett to use his wrestling in this fight. And rumor alert.
Just a rumor. Just a rumor. So nothing confirmed. We don't know. It's just something that we've seen online that it's kind of been circulating around. But
yeah, and some sources. I will say that too.
Don't know if they're reliable, but it's just pretty interesting just to keep in mind.
We've heard it more frequently than not.
Yes.
Like Josh Emmett is possibly coming into this fight with a hip injury. And if he's coming in compromised against Yair Rodrigues, I could see a body shot stopping him. If his hip is hurt, I don't see him shooting for a lot of takedowns. He's probably just going to come in and try to land that one big shot. And Josh Emmett has it. Like, he can put Yair's lights out. Like, and he can put anyone in that division's lights out if he catches them.
I mean, credit to Josh Emmett. I mean, listen, he's 37. I mean, this is I guess arguably his
rodeo.
It could be his last rodeo to the belt at least. I mean, he's doing what he's got to do, but I think to beat Yair, it's rough. It's rough. I mean, he could catch him. And I think that's what he's going to be relying on, especially if the injury rumors are true or they ring kind of true. Because I think if he has injured hip, I think it does affect his wrestling as well.
But that's more of like, we'll see what happens. But even without the injury, I would say I think me and my brother both agreed that Yair is just
still like Yair.
Yeah. He's a stylistic nightmare for him. I mean, if Josh uses his wrestling, we're having a whole different conversation. But name to me the last Josh Emmett fight where he used his wrestling. I don't even think it was in the UFC. So, and his wrestling is elite. He can grapple, but unless he just changes who he is for the last couple of fights, which he should have grappled in the Cater fight, didn't grapple. There was a lot of fights he should have grappled, didn't grapple. But unless he shows me something different, there's no way I could pick him against Yair. I think,
and Josh is a dog, man. Let's not get it twisted. Josh is a dog, man.
Durable as hell.
Yeah, and I know he's got a chip on his shoulder, and that might make it like what's the right word? I think this, just because of that, like, it makes it interesting. I think it could go to decision.
Right.
I think that's where I'm probably leaning.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a nice back and forth, but I think Yair. I think Yair does dirt. I think he's the pick. I think he's the bet. Right now he's at -165.
Good bet. Good bet for a straight.
Not a bad straight.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, I tell you what, if this fight was a couple of years ago and Yair Rodrigues didn't fight Max Holloway, I would have picked Emmett. I think I would have picked Emmett. But the fact after I seen that Max Holloway fight, I saw Yair level up to a different level. Like, he just looked way better as a fighter. Max had to shoot on him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get Max Holloway to shoot a takedown on you, it's crazy. That means your striking is at an elite level. I could see Josh Emmett doing the same thing if he gets into some trouble, but he probably could not. But Yair's probably going to force the shots out of him. And I think Yair, I think he's worked on his ground game very hard, and I think he'll be able to either get back up or, put up a submission threat really quick to recover his base and get back up to his feet, and then just keep lighting Josh Emmett up. So Yair Rodrigues is my pick for this fight. I think his distance management, his kicks, his creativity, his quickness, his explosiveness, he is wicked, and he is a very fun fighter to watch. And that Max Holloway fight pretty much put me over the edge on making this pick as well. So
yeah, I agree. Yair is the pick. Yair is the bet. Did you know that this was for the interim featherweight championship? I didn't. I guess I forgot that.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Yeah,
Then I mean, this is gonna be a 5-round banger. Yeah, well, then I might change my. So maybe it doesn't go to decision.
Maybe it doesn't go to decision. With both these guys, the way they hit, it's crazy. I mean, Josh Emmett's just so durable.
I retract my previous statement.
But then again, too, so is Yair Rodrigues, because he had that fight with Max, and dude, none of them. I don't even think Yair hit the floor in that fight. If he did, he got back up because that fight went to decision. It was a war.
Actually, you know what? I unretract my previous statement. Maybe it does go to decision because I think these guys are both dogs.
Durable.
They're gonna, they're fighting for the belt. Like I said, Josh Emmett got the chip in his shoulder. Yair, very creative when it comes to his striking. I think it's a good fight.
Great fight.
It's a good fight, but I think Yair wins this. I think Yair could finish him, but I think it probably goes to decision. That's not going to be a bet for me.
Right.
There's more of a lean, but I think the bet would be Yair. The pick is Yair.
Yeah.
I think Yair wins. I think he is your new interim champion.
And he fights Volkanovski next. Yeah. And unless Josh Emmett decides to change how he fights for this fight, and with the rumor news circling around, it's kind of scary. But unless he decides, historically, he hasn't shown you that he's going to shoot for a takedown.
Unless, the rumors are fake and then he just becomes a wrestling
god.
Big
wrestling god.
Wrestling god.
But that's the only way he wins this fight, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to be able, he's not going to be able to land that big right hand on Yair.
He's got to mitigate Yair's striking. Yeah. And wrestling is definitely his best
option for that. Getting close, take him down. And is he going to be able to take Yair down? I don't know. He should be able to, because he is a very good wrestler, but doesn't use it. So, but anyway, I think we agree. Yair Rodrigues straight is the pick in this fight. I think he wins this fight. And on to the main event. Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski being the 145 featherweight champion, moving up to contest for Islam Makhachev's 155-pound championship belt. This is a great fight. The odds, I think, are a little disrespectful towards Volkanovski. I think they got Islam at like a 3-1 favorite, but what I will say is Islam is definitely my pick for this fight. However, I could not find good spots to bet this fight. I will say that. I think this fight's going to go two ways, in my opinion, and my brother agrees with me on this.
We'll see.
Matter of fact, you could spit it. I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, it's all good. I mean, listen, you say what you got to say. Let's see. Volk. I mean, this is all on Volk, right? So, like I said, like my brother said, two ways. Either Volk justifies his plus 300 number, because I think he's a good value bet.
Yes.
Just depends on what you see and what you feel where the fight's gonna go and how it's gonna, play out. So it's either he justifies his number and this fight it's a dog fight, and they're just grappling and ungrappling each other, and ungrappling, is that even a word?
It's all right. Disengaging.
Well, I think either Volkanovski could not mitigate, but at least kind of neutralize the grappling of Makhachev, and I think Volk is the better striker.
Absolutely.
I think he's the better striker. So if he could keep it standing, I think Volk stands a chance. I mean, again, Volk is the smaller guy, by is it significant?
I would say
small,
significant.
Man.
He was a 230-pound rugby player at one point.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he was a tank, but now he cuts to 145. And if you've just seen the face-offs with him and Islam has significant size on him.
Yeah.
It's pretty significant. And listen, Max Holloway took him down. I mean, maybe he wasn't expecting that from Max, but Max took Volk down in their fights, if I'm correct. I believe it was Max.
I think so.
Max took him down, and Max does not go to his wrestling either. So my thing is, if someone like Max gets you to the floor, Islam is going to do wonders against you, and not to, disrespect Max's wrestling. I think Max is really a very competent fighter everywhere the fight goes, but it's not his touche. It's not what he does.
And we're talking Islam Makhachev here, and this guy is a wrestler,
a beast.
Who's got underrated hands, by the way, but
Yes. He's not, he's definitely, he's from, he's, for those who don't know, he's Khabib's protege.
Yeah.
Essentially, he's Khabib and his father's protege, but
Khabib 2.0.
Basically, just with less wrestling, but better striking.
Yes.
Like, Khabib is probably one of the best trained wrestlers ever, and especially at 50, definitely at 55.
100%.
But Islam, he doesn't chain wrestle as well as Khabib and put it all together, but his striking is worlds better than Khabib's.
Yes.
Khabib had an eagle punch, which is like a little uppercut, and it was weird, But yeah, I'll be honest. I like Islam a lot in this fight, and here's why. It's not only the size, but it's also, it's just, I would, listen, if you want the real, I would favor Islam against Kamaru Usman right now. That's how highly I think of Islam's wrestling.
Whoa.
It's actually, just the truth.
I agree.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Usman, he is a good fighter. I've had the best things to say about him, because I think he's just a brute that essentially has beat up a whole bunch of blown up 55ers, Masvidal, Gilbert Burns, blown up 55ers. The best fights he's had, and even one that he lost recently, were against the real welterweights. Colby Covington gave him hell. Leon Edwards stopped him in the 5th, and Leon was losing that fight. I mean, but a knockout to knockout, you can't. And by the way, it's not a record, but I did call that. I did say that Leon would win that fight. I did say he was a live dog. But that's besides the point. In the rematch, I do favor Kamaru. I think Kamaru will get it done with the pressure. However, if he fought Islam Makhachev, I think Islam would just beat him in the grappling department. As soon as he Leon Edwards got to Kamaru's back like butter, and that's Leon Edwards. He's a striker that's learning grappling, and you could say Kamaru is not, wasn't expecting it. I get that, but and no one, if you're at a certain level, there's certain people that shouldn't be taking your back, and he got to Kamaru's back, and Kamaru kind of looked lost down there. I'm going to be honest with you.
I just think he didn't expect it, but you're right. He did look a little lost.
He looked lost.
Not lost, but I think he was just more taken aback. Like, oh wow, this guy, actually not only shot his shot, but then,
he held him down.
Yeah.
And to be real, he held him there for a solid 2 minutes. And Kamaru kind of didn't know what to do. He kind of just gave the round away. My thing is, if Islam gets your back, it's like, if you look at his jiu-jitsu technique, it's so tight. There's no room to breathe. There's no place for you to go. Everything is like a boa constrictor, And I feel like if this fight hits the mat with Volkanovski and Islam, man, I don't. Volkanovski hasn't shown me enough to say that he would be able to survive.
Yeah.
This fight, in my opinion, and this is what I was telling my brother earlier, there's going to be two ways. Either Volk gets dog walked and quick, or Volk makes this a very presentable decision loss.
Yeah, his rug.
He gets the Islam rub.
His rug. No, I was gonna say more like either he gets dog walked, or maybe he's actually got that rugby strength, like that underrated strength, and he's able to make this fight a little more competitive because he's able to keep it standing, and then gives him a shot to outstrike Islam. But if you had to ask me, I think this is Makhachev. I think Makhachev wins. Inside the distance, maybe. I don't know. Volk is hard to get out, but I don't know if he's ready for Islam squeeze. Pause. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a good read yet on. I got to look a little more into it. I guess I don't know if it's gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna finish or it's gonna go the distance. But
yeah, definitely follow us on Twitter. And follow us on Twitter and on our social media platforms, and we'll definitely if we have any updates to the bets, the fights in particular that we didn't bet on, we'll definitely update you guys there. But yeah, I agree with my brother. It's just there's no place to really bet him because you can't bet him straight, but you don't want to bet him by decision because you don't really know how the fight's gonna look
unless you believe in the power of Volk, and then he's plus 300. If you believe in it, if you think he's got that rugby strength and he could keep it standing, all power to you. It's possible because Volk is pound for pound one of the best in the world. Obviously, clearly.
Yeah, this is pound for pound 1 versus 2, man.
Yep, pound for pound 1 versus pound for pound 2.
But so, I agree, and the reason I say that there's a good chance he might get dog walked in this fight because Islam is not only a lightweight, he's a big lightweight.
Yes,
he could fight at 70 comfortably,
100%
with all the elite guys.
Yeah,
that's how big he's a big dude. So it's unless Volkanovski's gonna, he can manage distance and figure it out. I don't know, but I agree. This fight, Islam's the pick for sure.
Good fight though.
We just got to see if we can find a line for you guys that makes sense. I don't know. This fight might be unbettable unless you're willing to lay juice on Volkanovski. I'm sorry, on Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to whether you think he's gonna finish him or you think he's gonna go the distance. I think that maybe the it's tough, man. Maybe the over 1.5. Probably that's it's gotta be juiced. It's gotta be super juiced.
That's probably a safe bet.
Maybe over the 2, maybe over the 3.
Yeah,
might be pushing it, but I don't know.
Because if you had to ask me, I don't think he gets dog walked, but I think there's a possibility he gets stopped in the 3rd and the 4th. Yeah. I really believe that.
Sprinkle a little, maybe Islam stoppage 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's just the size, man. It's the size, and that's if they were the same size, I'd probably have different reservations about this fight. But Islam is a lot bigger than him, man.
Yeah,
Islam's a big 55er. And I would favor him against, probably all the top guys at welterweight outside of Gilbert Burns.
True.
I think stylistically, Gilbert Burns is not a nightmare for him, but Gilbert would give him a lot of trouble.
That'd be a sick fight.
That's a great fight.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but Gilbert, outside of Gilbert, I think even Kobe, maybe Kobe gives Islam some trouble too. But I don't know. I will say I think Kobe's the best open mat wrestler in the top 5. Kamaru's just more of a brute. He has that Greco style where he kind of just gets up into you and he kind of makes it nasty and then picks you up and slams you. He has that strong style, and maybe Kobe, but I could see Kobe giving up his back to Islam too. There's a lot of good fights for Islam at 70. There's a lot of good fights, but I would pick him against Kamaru. He is if he was a dog in that fight, he's a live dog. If he's the favorite, it makes sense to me.
All right. So,
but
to wrap it up,
Islam is the pick for sure. If we find any money for you guys, we'll let you know.
Islam is the pick for me as well. Bet wise, I would have to look into it to see where I can maybe make some money, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, Islam's the pick. I think Islam wins, and still.
Yeah, so, but guys, this is the conclusion of our first episode of this podcast.
Yes, sir.
We hope you enjoyed. We hope it was informative. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
And for all you YouTube viewers, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, we're available on Spotify, Apple, and Google.
Peace.